Hey everyone, I'm Kevin. Welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics. We're talking more LEGO investing and reselling. I'm doing another tier list video because if one is good, then 5 more tier list videos is even better. We're pulling sets off of our 6-month cumulative table. If you're not familiar with this data that I collect, then go check out some of my previous videos. I forget which ones exactly. Cover the details on how I collect all this data, but go watch all my videos. Heck, go watch them all 10 times, see if I care. No, I'm just kidding around. Here we are at the random number generator to pick our first set, and it is 25 on the list. We've talked about that one in the past. Every time we pick a set we've already talked about, I'm just going to move up to the next available, and it's number 13 on the list, Temple of the Golden Idol. Very cool Indiana Jones diorama set, 17 mentions. That's great. E-score of 2.2 is decent. I've built this set, a lot of great action features, $150 for the 1,500 pieces. It felt expensive when I built it. Yes, the 4 minifigures are awesome. Targets regularly had it at 20% discount. I bet we get a shot around 100 or even a tick less than that. But I want to point out a 4.7 on Brickset. That is a really, really high score for Brickset and just over a year and a half shelf life. Most of the old Indiana Jones sets from 10 to 15 years ago are doing really well. Obviously, there was much lower supply on the secondary market then, so the new sets won't do nearly as well, but I think there's a lot of opportunity with the new sets. I'll scroll through. You can check out some of these prices, like the Temple of Doom, $90 to almost $500. Fight on the Flying Wing, that's a super cool set. Obviously, Temple of the Crystal Skull is a great one, and then a bunch of other classic Indiana Jones sets that have all grown in value. This is a really good one. I love the dioramas in general, regardless of what sub-theme they are. All of the little idol faces that are brick built in here are awesome, and like I mentioned, with all of the action features, the build was a lot of fun. On our tier list, I'm going to put this in the really good category. I do need it on an excellent discount, and it'll probably fall towards the bottom of the really good category. Notice I've got new category names. I appreciate the comments saying that my previous names should be updated to something that's a little bit more related to investing, but I still want to keep a sports reference in there. So this is a home run investment in the top tier. Really good. Middle is high risk, but high reward, question mark possibly. 4th level is maybe, but probably not. And then the 5th tier is flat out nope. For all you Exploding Kittens fans out there, you will enjoy that reference. I play nope cards on my wife and kids even when we're not playing a game of Exploding Kittens. Back to our number generator, it is set 163. That's at the bottom of our table, and that is moving up one. Forbidden Forest Magical Creatures. Only one mention with an enthusiasm score of 1. Here it is on Brickset, less than a year shelf life. That's interesting. I didn't realize that, but it's $30 for 172 pieces. Only 2 minifigures. I realize it also has Buckbeak and a baby Thestral, and I think the mushroom pieces are glow in the dark, and the spider, that really looks like the glow in the dark material, but none of the minifigures or creatures are exclusive, so that price point is very high. I appreciate LEGO doing something a little different here, trying to get some interesting colors in, but the color combinations do not work for me, so I don't see any desirability for the side builds, and I'm calling them side builds because they're so small. I just don't see what would drive demand for this on the secondary market, and as I've spoken about many times, although I love Harry Potter a lot, the desirability in the LEGO universe for Harry Potter has died off a ton recently. Many sets are not doing well in the secondary market, and so I think this is a pretty easy one. I am putting it in the nope category. Third set to rank is number 101, and that is Kingsley Shacklebolt and Nymphadora Tonks. I think I said that right. Another Harry Potter set, this time BrickHeadz. 3 mentions, E-score of 1.7. This one was actually on sale a few weeks ago, which I was kind of surprised by. Seems a little early. As you know, all BrickHeadz, or mostly all BrickHeadz, are exclusive to LEGO. That's why there is a LEGO in parentheses behind the set name, and the R in parentheses in front of the set number means that according to Brick Fanatics, it is scheduled to retire at the end of this year. Year and a half shelf life, the standard $20, with less than 2,000 members owning it and only 573 wanting it. It looks like the demand is pretty low, but looking at the set with all the color and uniqueness of these characters, I think there could be a little something there. Generally, I'm not excited about the Harry Potter BrickHeadz. I'm pretty excited about pretty much all of the other BrickHeadz, especially the licensed BrickHeadz that are retiring at the end of this year. I wasn't planning on investing in any of the Harry Potters, but I actually did pick up 5 of these because, again, I think they were 30% off at LEGO a few weeks ago, and at that price, I felt really good about it, especially when we look at the other BrickHeadz that are retiring at the end of this year. This 5-pack, not my favorite. If it goes on a 40% discount like last year's Prisoners of Azkaban, then I'd pick some up, but the Harry and Cho Chang is kind of boring. Draco and Cedric Diggory is kind of boring, so So of the ones that are retiring, I think this one has the most interest, therefore the highest potential for some demand on the secondary market. With all that, I would want to put it in the maybe, but probably not. But because it's BrickHeadz, I'm going to put it in the high risk, high reward question mark tier. For set, we're going to 153, and that is going to be the Enchanted Treehouse. If I recall, I think that's a friend set. Also, one mention, E-score of 1, so obviously I'm going to rank it pretty low. Oh yeah, of course it's a friend set because it starts with a 4 on the set number. Oh, and I take that back. It is a Disney 100 set. Let's look at the minifigures here. I know they're the mini dolls, but we've got Alice and Maribel and Pocahontas, Wendy, Tinkerbell, Raya, holy moly, Mulan, Elsa, Anna, Jasmine, and Moana. That's a pretty good lineup. I know the mini dolls aren't nearly as collectible as the minifigures. I love Jasmine, one of my favorite movies as a kid, but these mini dolls look really good. A lot of great printing that goes all around in many cases. Year and a half shelf life, 160 bucks seems like a lot of money, and a very low demand on members that own it and want it. I definitely don't think there's much here on the secondary market. Kind of funny rolling this set in this video because another one with some really interesting color combinations that are very similar to the Harry Potter creatures set that we just looked at. And yeah, that purple and light green and a little bit of pink in there just doesn't work for me. And I like the color purple a lot, but yeah, just very strange. I know I am not the target audience at all, and I'm sure many kids love this set. Still likely very low demand, but I will put it in the 4th tier just because all of those classic mini doll Disney characters were pretty cool. Next up is 150, and that is going to be the birthday cake, also a LEGO exclusive. One mention, E-score of 1. Even though it's an adorable little set, I don't think there's anything special here to drive demand. I'm sure it sells well for LEGO because it is holiday and birthday themed, and it's only $15. If I were a kid, I would love to get this next to my actual birthday cake. They're in a big birthday batch. It looks like there are hinges on that. Does that open up? Let me see here. Oh yeah, that's super cool. A little vignette on the inside, and you can slide down the hill. Yeah, as a kid, this would be awesome. I would love that. And since it's related to a holiday, you know, like some of the Halloween and Easter sets have done pretty well in the past, maybe this one could be desirable. I'm going to search in Brickset to see how many birthday sets LEGO's done. Oh, it's an actual sub-theme of seasonal, so let's go check those out. A birthday set that retired in 23, and it's grown a little bit on Brickset. Birthday table decoration has almost doubled. This old polybag birthday cake that looks pretty awful, and that's about it. So there aren't a lot of birthday sets, and honestly, yeah, that pinata is super cool, but I don't think it's going to do well in the secondary market. But honestly, this birthday cake, especially how it opens up, is pretty neat. So I'm going to put it in the high risk, high reward category. Let's see what we roll next. Number 69. So let's get to that set. And this is the Avatar Tree of Souls. I think it's retiring at the end of July, so this video might actually come out right after it is supposed to retire. 5 mentions, but a low 1.6 enthusiasm score. Okay, so this is the only Avatar set that is being talked about positively for investing, and it's all because of that gorgeous, gorgeous tree. LEGO knocked it out of the park with that build, but it is $150 for only 1,200 pieces. The Avatar minifigures just don't work for me. I don't care that LEGO broke their standard when it comes to putting noses on minifigures, but it really didn't work here for me. I think the noses are kind of ugly and it just throws everything off for me. The long legs also don't work for me. I know that it's pretty accurate to the source material, but it's not what I want in a minifigure. And I think that's the same for many people because these minifigures have not been very collectible. The only way I would invest in this if it was on a really good discount, but keep in mind another 1, 2, or possibly even 3 Avatar sets are scheduled over like the next decade. Go look up all the details. I've checked that out before. I don't remember exactly, but I know more Avatar content is coming, and maybe a set that looks this beautiful would have a chance, but pretty much all the other Avatar sets I really am not excited about. So I'm gonna put this one at the bottom of high risk, high reward because I think this is a classic, quintessential high risk, high reward LEGO set to invest in, and I don't like to take high risk with my LEGO investing. There are a lot more sets that I am sure of, and so again, without a major discount, I'm passing. Next up is 148, and we're gonna go to Fantasy Forest Creatures. That's a little creator 3-in-1 set. One mention, E-score of 1. It's a fun little set, but the builds aren't that inspiring. I think that's a little hedgehog that's pretty adorable, but the owl isn't great, even though kids would obviously love to have it and play with it. I know that some of these creator 3-in-1 animal sets have done well, like the alligator or crocodile, and the fish tank was awesome, but the vast majority of creator 3-in-1s do not perform well in the secondary market, and I don't think this one is worth diving into. Too much risk. So on the tier list, I'm going maybe, but probably not. Rolling another number, we get set 154, which is the Target exclusive Sailboat. It's a city set. As of now, it's still expected to retire at the end of this year. It might slide because it's a pretty new set. Only one mention, an E-score of 1. I feel like that's kind of low. Here's the set. It's plain, but it's classic. And sometimes you just need a plain classic sailboat. I love the little diving dolphin out of the water there. Exactly a 1-year shelf life, $20. Even though it's 102 pieces, seems pretty fair because of the sailboat hull. Wow, very low demand, much lower than I would have expected, with right around 1,000 that own it and want it. But if we look at other city sailboats and yachts, there aren't too many of them out there. Like this ferry, which looks awful, is up from $30 to $45, retired in 2017. This fishing boat that retired in 2012 is $20 to $47. Makes sense. And then let's look at another one here. Let's see. Yeah, this fishing boat is $20 to $50. I don't know if it was exclusive or not, but it says it's included in another set. This nice little 4x4 catamaran is up a few bucks. And then here's the diving yacht from 2019. Hasn't moved the needle much, but I think these were on sale for about $10 right before they retired. Another good little set. Because this sailboat is a Target exclusive, I think there's a chance with it. It's clearly flying under the radar, so I don't think there's going to be a supply problem. The big question is, will there be any demand? On our tier list, I'm going to put high risk, high reward above the birthday cake. Now on to the 9th set on our table. This ought to be a good one all the way at the top. Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack. The only standing Star Wars battle pack that is still hopefully going to retire at the end of this year. A really solid 18 mentions. A little lower enthusiasm score. Battle packs have been trending that direction. I don't know if there's battle pack fatigue and there are just way too many clone troopers out there that the demand is going to be lower on the secondary market, or if people are just feeling like, hey, battle packs are evergreens, they're not going to explode in value, but if you get them on a little discount, they're a solid investment. I still think they're pretty good. These guys are Ahsoka's 332nd with the blue jetpacks and accessories and the orange helmets. I do like the color on them. They're pretty awesome. And then the Swamp Speeder is a pretty decent build. Even though the first season of the Ahsoka series wasn't great, I really think Ahsoka's story arc is just starting. Hopefully Disney does a good job building a great storyline and does a bunch of character development with her and all the folks around her. I think the value of this set in the future will really hinge on that, but less than a year and a half shelf life. And if we look at the other Star Wars battle pack that we were all excited about until a couple of months ago when it fell off of the retirement list, this one had a longer shelf life if it did retire at the end of this year. So I'd kind of rather this one go long if one of them had to, and this one stay with a less than a year and a half shelf life, which seems really short. So with the standard 20 or 30% discount, I think we've got a pretty good shot. If you watched my latest power rankings video, I had it in my top 10 and I forget where it was. I feel like somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to put this one in the home run category, but depending upon what we roll in the random number generator, I could see it falling to the lower end of the home run category. 10 set to talk about is number 4. Now we're getting into a big hitter, the Tusken Raider Brickhead. You guys know I love this guy. 21 mentions, an awesome enthusiasm score of 2.5. Remember, the max enthusiasm score a set can get is 3.0. This guy is super cool, really well done in BrickHeadz form. A lot of BrickHeadz, it's hard to recognize the character. This one is obviously a Tusken Raider. I really give credit to the designer. It seems so simple when we look at it. It's like, oh yeah, I could have put something like that together. A lot of thought went into this build and I think they nailed it. A pretty long 2-year shelf life for a Brickhead, but the big Star Wars Brickhead that retired at the end of last year also had a 2-year shelf life. It was Ahsoka, and $10 up to $15. And I want to point out the brick set prices aren't perfect. I'm not going to go look up every exact price. You guys can look those up on your own, looking at Amazon and eBay and all that kind of stuff. I'm just looking at a quick number to give us a guide, because remember, I don't know what sets we're talking about in these tier list videos since I'm rolling the random number generator, so I'm cutting out a lot of dead air where I'm looking up sets on Brickset. But generally, it seems like the Brickset prices are after all of the fees and shipping if you were to sell on Amazon or eBay. And so people were sourcing these Ahsoka Tanos for, between $7 and $8 when they were on sale right at the end, and stacking double insider points and GWPs. So up to $15 6 months into retirement is pretty good, even though people were concerned that there would be a lot of these on the secondary market. 9,000 members own this set. According to Brickset, I have 27 of them. I haven't kept these numbers up perfectly. That's probably the 90% answer. And if we look back at the Tusken Raider, only 5,600 own it. So the demand doesn't seem to be as high, but I think the demand will be there on the secondary market. And remember, in many scenes, there are tons of Tusken Raiders, just coming out of the woodwork. So people can army build with these Tusken Raider Brickheads. No, I am totally kidding. Nobody's going to army build Tusken Raider Brickheads, but it's kind of a funny thought if somebody built like 50 of these and lined them up. So yeah, I'm going home run on this one above the Ahsoka Tano Clone Troopers. If the tier list lets me, there we go, in the top spot right there. Next set up is 149 all the way back to the bottom of the list, and we're going going to go to 145, Tails Workshop and Tornado Plane. One mention, E-score of 2. This pretty cool set is from the Sonic playset sub-theme, you know, with Sonic and the rolling ball and coins and things crash and they do loops and all that kind of stuff. But even though there's a lot of fun to be had here, I stay away from investing in the action playset themes like the Mario, the stunts. 3 minifigures, one is exclusive. The exclusive one is probably the brick built minifigure. And then we've got Tails and Sonic. Even if they did have a unique element, they are in other sets. And so a unique element isn't going to distinguish them that much because Sonic looks like Sonic as a minifigure and Tails looks like Tails as a minifigure. I've heard some people mention how these Sonic playsets are the great ones to invest in because the Green Hill Zone idea set only has 1 minifigure and then a bunch of brick built figures. And so go with these because of the minifigures, but I'm just not seeing it. I'm not falling into that trap. I love that LEGO came out with this line, but I just don't see the desirability on the secondary market. So I'm going to put it in the nope category. Now on to the 59th set, the Ferrari 812 Competizione Speed Champions. 6 mentions. I would have thought more, but it's mostly because of the higher price points for the Speed Champion sets, but an enthusiasm score of 2.7. This one is absolutely flying under the radar. I was dogging on this set in a video a couple of months ago, and I got some comments pointing out how good this car is. Even though it looks a little plain and simple, the Speed Champions build is very accurate to the source material, and it's a super popular car in the real world, even though most of us can't afford it. It'd be awesome to own a Ferrari someday. Just over a 1.5 year shelf life, super expensive, but LEGO knows how great they're doing with the 8-stud wide Speed Champion sets. The demand is there on the primary market, so of course LEGO was going to up the price on these because people are still going to buy them. Yeah, like right here, over 7,000 members already own this set. The big question is, how much of a discount will it go on? Will it just do the standard 20% and be around $20 before it retires, or will it drop down to like $15 or $16? Remember last year, a lot of the $20 Speed Champion sets, including popular ones like Dom's Charger, dropped to $10 to $12. So I expect this one to get down to around $15. I don't have any yet, but I'm going to watch it closely. As we know, Speed Champions have a really good history on the secondary market. I think that well is going to dry up someday, especially with the price increases. But for now, I am putting this one in, I'm going to put it in the bottom of the home run category. That might be a little generous, but I've really come around on that vehicle. Now we roll set number 111, Heatwave Transforming Lava Dragon. 2 mentions, E-score of 2. $55 doesn't seem too bad, but only 479 pieces. Maybe. 1.5 year shelf life seems pretty good. Some Ninjago dragons have done really well in the past. Full disclosure, I rarely invest in Ninjago unless I catch like a great clearance at Walmart. But my hunch is this one doesn't do well because it's more like a 4-legged beast than a dragon. I don't think there are any significant wings. Maybe some of these pieces kind of flap out, but it doesn't scream dragon towards me. It kind of screams it doesn't know what kind of creature it wants to be. And with only 1,000 members owning it, that's an indication that the demand will be pretty low. So I'm going to put this one below the Creator 3-in-1. No, I'm going to put it I'm going to put it in the top of the maybe, but probably not category. 14th set is 76, and that's right in the middle of a bunch we've already talked about. So we're going to go to Yoda's Jedi Starfighter. 5 mentions and a very well-earned 1.2 enthusiasm score. This is not a set that I like. $35 for 253 pieces. Yes, 2 minifigures, but how many Yodas and R2-D2s have we got over the years? Even if one of these is exclusive, there's very little desirability or collectability to drive up tons of demand. And if we look at the same set from 5 years ago, they are basically a replica. The old one was a 3.9, $25 to $38. Obviously, that's not bad. But the new one at $35, I don't see where it has room to grow. Discount set, otherwise a pass. So I'll just put it in the top of the maybe, but probably not category. 15th set is 81. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go to 25 sets in this video, and this is the Walmart exclusive Birdhouse. 4 mentions, E-score of 2. Between you and me, I think both of those are a little low. This is a really adorable set. Look at those little brick-built birdies. I have no idea what kind of birds they are. Sorry. 5 of them, and then one little baby in the Birdhouse. The little swing, a bunch of perches. I'm not a big bird guy, but as you guys know, I love camping in the outdoors, and so I absolutely want this set for my own collection. 4.3 on brick set isn't bad. $30 for almost 500 pieces. 2-year shelf life is decent. I think this one is going to surprise some people on the secondary market. Like I said earlier, most Creator 3-in-1s do not do well, but there's 1 or 2 every year that surprise people. I think this one has a chance. And if we Google Lego birds. See how many birds related sets are out right now, and they all look pretty good. Like the exotic pink parrot that is a Target exclusive. That one gets a lot of buzz, but this new kingfisher bird is amazing. The little bird's nest is adorable. I really like this fauna collection. I'm not sure for investing. It's not retiring at the end of this year, but for personal collection, I would love to hang that on my wall with the pastel colors, and these birds are pretty sizable actually. So Lego's done some research and found that there's a good market for them to sell bird sets. I think there's a good chance people will want to go back in time and pick some of these adorable sets up. Almost 4,000 members that own it isn't terrible in terms of demand. So I'm going to go a little higher than most people would think and put this in the really good category, and I'm excited about this one. Don't share that with too many people. No, I'm kidding, but I think it's a sleeper and will surprise some people. Next random number is 110. That is Moana's Wayfinding boat. 2 mentions, E-score of 2. With less than 1,000 brick set members owning it, there's low probability that there will be any demand on the secondary market. I don't think any of the other Moana sets have generated much excitement, so even though it looks like a fun little build, I'm gonna have to rank it pretty low on the tier list. 17th set is 142. That is gonna be Triwizard Tournament, the Black Lake. Same story as always on most of the Harry Potter sets. The buzz has just died off. Under a 2-year shelf life is pretty good. $45 for 349 pieces. Yes, 5 minifigures, all are unique, but that just doesn't look like a $45 set. But I do want to point out this one has 4,600 owners and another 1,800 that want it, so there's some demand there. Because it looks very different from most recent Harry Potter sets, I'm not going to put it super low on the list. I think I'll put it below the birthday cake. Next roll is number 7 back to the top, and that is going to be Boba Fett's Starship Microfighter. 21 mentions, E-score 2.1. I love this set. Outstanding minifigure with the arm printing, the hips and toes, and all the details. The helmet looks great. The minifigure fits inside the canopy. The little Microfighter build is awesome for this scale. I can't believe it's only a 3.8, but the big problem is there's going to be so much supply on the secondary market. People are sourcing these left and right at like $6. Odds are that right before it retires, it goes down to $5 or maybe even $5.50. I mistakenly picked up, I think, 30 of these at the $6 price point, but that was like 6 or 7 months ago. So bad decision. Shouldn't have been holding on to a box of these for all this time, and probably shouldn't have picked any of them up. So if it has a chance, it's going to be a long hold time, but I got to put it right in the middle of the tier list because it's Star Wars and it's Boba Fett. Microfighters in the past have done really well, but they were not super oversupplied like this one's going to be. Next up is number 109, Joy, Sadness, and Anxiety. This is a very new BrickHeadz set with 2 mentions and a very good enthusiasm score of 2.5. I'm not worried about the low mentions because it hasn't been out very long. I expect the mentions to increase, and I bet it continues to have a 2.5 enthusiasm score until the end of this year. From Inside Out 2, these characters are adorable in BrickHeadz form. Just a 7-month shelf life. Obviously, with that short of a shelf life, we have to be prepared that it might get extended a year. I love most of the BrickHeadz, as you know, and I think this one will do very well, but my only hesitation is that 2 of the 3 characters are kind of the half-size BrickHeadz, and I don't know how popular those are, especially in a multi-character pack, but it is at the $20 price point, and I would say standard because it's 10 for the regular BrickHeadz and then 5 for the smaller. So that is standard $20 price point. We don't have a lot of information or comparables to go on, so I'm going to put it in the top of the really good tier. Our next random number is 151, Brachiosaurus Discovery. Only 1 mention, E-score of 2. The well of investing in Jurassic Park dinosaurs has all but dried up at this point, but with this set, keep in mind this is the first Brachiosaurus in Lego form, and I think it's the tallest dinosaur if I remember. $80 for 512 pieces. On paper, when you have a large dinosaur, doesn't seem terrible, but then when you look at the set, the Jeep is awesome, the tree is hideous. Man, it wouldn't have taken Lego many more pieces to make a good tree here. I'm really disappointed in that. So the only chance this one has is if the Brachiosaurus carries it on the secondary market and the 3 exclusive minifigures. I would have totally skipped this set, except I ran into 2 or 3 boxes at 50% clearance at Walmart about a month ago, so I picked those up at that price, of course. And then my other big complaint, this doesn't really have to do with investing, but if I were to have it for my own personal collection, is this huge gap in the neck. When it's standing up tall, it's obvious. If the neck's leaning over, the gap in the shoulder blades area is obvious. Lego is really good with their design and materials and very tiny dimension tolerances. I feel like they could have done something, maybe a little bit of a cloth piece that expands and contracts, or maybe something that would recess into each upper and lower part of the main main sternum area or shoulders area, but those huge gaps are a big turnoff. But the face is awesome and the top of the neck is good, and then the rest of the body is fine. I'm not going to go super low because it is a new dinosaur mold, but it's going to be in the middle high risk, high reward category. For the 21st set, we go to the 166 spot, another Avatar set. Only one mention, E-score of 1. I totally agree. I don't think I have much to say on the rest of these Avatar sets. Surprisingly, this one has 2,500 members that own it. That seems higher than I would have thought, but there's no buzz around Avatar, so I'm going to put it in the maybe but probably not tier. I think it belongs in the note, but just because the wings on those creatures do look pretty good, I'm going to just bump it up a notch. Next up is 103, and that is going to be another Jurassic Park set, this time the Visitor Center. 3 mentions, E-score of 1.3. Totally agree on that too. I was excited when LEGO announced a Jurassic Park Visitor Center, and then I saw the build and was hugely disappointed. It's just a facade and there's like so much open space in the back and it angles out towards you. So when you're in the back, you know, if you're a kid playing with it, it's even worse in terms of open space. A huge disappointment. And then it's $130. I get the large dinosaurs, and it's only 2 of them. The third one is brick built, but I get the large dinosaur pieces are in here, but $130 for 693 pieces. Absolutely not. I'm going way low on this one. It is in the nope category. I think I saw one for 40% off and I passed. 60% off, I'd pick it up, but it's a big time nope for me. Let's see what we get next. Hopefully a much better set. Yep, we're going to the top of the list, number 14, and a bunch in the top middle section area we've already talked about in previous videos. So we've got to go to Dorado Fortress. 18 mentions, a great 2.4 enthusiasm score. This one is also in my power rankings video. 1.5 shelf life for a set this awesome, I think is great. And $215 for a set with 2,500 pieces and 9 minifigures. Fantastic. I've heard some people say it's a little overpriced. I don't think so. Of course, we'd like to get it on discount anytime we can, but a 4.4 on brick set is awesome. For a set over $200 and almost 5,000 members that own it and another 3,300 that want it, that's a really good want to own ratio. I think the demand is there. And this set went on excellent discount. I got one from Target. Did I get one? Maybe 2. I'm looking over. I think just one. And I forget what the discount was, but it was an excellent discount. And so I definitely picked up one. I've already built it myself. But I was curious because it was this set. The Cody helmet was on that great discount down to almost 50% off from the original $70 MSRP. That was awesome for the Cody helmet. And then there were a couple of others that weren't of as much interest, but I really watched this one and the Cody helmet closely, and this one sold out first. It sold out within hours at that discount. It's high for me. I'm even going to put it ahead of the Tusken Raider. This is going to be number 1 in my video unless we roll like the number 1 set on our cumulative table, which would be, oh, the Princess Leia helmet. That one might go above the Dorado Fortress. So back to the random number generator. Let's see where we go next. Set 18 also talked about, so we got to go all the way up to set number 3, the Mos Eisley Cantina. I have mine behind me. It was my day 1 purchase. Fantastic 32 mentions, solid 2.3 enthusiasm score. This would be much higher, but it's at the $400 price point. There are a number of investors that just don't go into the $300 and $400 price point range for investing because it's higher risk, larger boxes that you got to hold on to, and obviously a little bit harder to move them, and shipping is a pain if you're going to sell eBay or Amazon. So although I'm not investing in this one because of those logistical issues that I just pointed out, I do think it's going to do really well. 4.5 on brick set. That's fantastic for a set this expensive. Yes, over a 4-year shelf life. I'm not worried about that. At this price point, the supply is not going to be heavy. 21 awesome Star Wars characters, all the aliens, the band, all the main characters, some side builds, a couple of spaceships. So great. 14,664 members own it today, and another 6,400 want it. When it went on sale, no, I think there was a deal on it during May the 4th. It sold out pretty quick. I was kind of surprised with how quickly it sold out. In fact, let's go to lego.com. I'm curious if it's still in stock or completely sold out at this point. Yeah, not sold out, but back order. I do think this is one that goes completely sold out before December 31st. So if it's one that you want, my thought would be to not wait too long, but definitely wait for double insider points and a GWP and maybe even Black Friday. So I'm going to go high on this one and put it at the bottom of the home run tier. And now to our 25th set, we need to go to slot 41. And you know what? I'm going to call an audible, and we're going to do 30 sets in this video. So we've got 6 more to rank. And number 41 is Escape from the Lost Tomb. Another Indiana Jones set, 9 mentions, E-score 2.3. I think that's great. There's a lot of good with this set. The build is awesome. It looks amazing. Minifigures, 4 of them, a bunch of snakes. I wish they double or triple the snakes. That would have cost LEGO nothing, and that would would have made the playability for kids so much fun. I also like the metrics on it. Just over a year and a half shelf life, 600 pieces for $40, 4.3 on brick set, 7,500 own it, another 1,600 want it. So pretty good demand numbers. Even though past Indiana Jones sets have done super well, like quadrupled in value, if not more in a lot of cases, they are not good comparables because that's from over a decade ago. And in this wave, we got the diorama that we've already looked at, and then two of these more play sets. This one in the fighter plane chase, and it's sounding like there might not be any more Indiana Jones. Consumer interest in Indiana Jones seems to be dying off a little bit, but again, 7,400 members that own it. I mean, there's still something out there for Indiana Jones, and of course, people still watch the classic movies a lot, and that will help these. So I think the Indiana Jones sets are a little bit of a gamble. For my own Lego investing strategy, I lean pretty heavy towards these Indiana Jones sets being pretty good investments. So I'm going to put it next to the other one. The question is, do we put it above the diorama or below the diorama? And I'm going to put it just below because again, the diorama has all of those classic Indiana Jones action features. 26th set is number 55, and that is going to be the Typewriter, this ideas set. 7 mentions, not bad, a 1.7 enthusiasm score. That is a travesty for this set, but maybe it's not because I think it's going to do really well, and I think there's going to be very little supply on the secondary market. Therefore, it's really going to surprise some people. Many ideas sets do really well, but it seems like idea set to idea set, it's almost apples and oranges, and you never really know. Just look at this beautiful, simple, plain design and build. 4.5 on brick set. Cool sand green pieces. That's fantastic. Couple of minor problems. $250 for the almost 2,100 pieces is too expensive, and there haven't been many sales on this set. I think we'll get them maybe really short windows before they retire, but I think we will get a shot at it. And then the other small concern is that it will have a 3.5-year shelf life. I want to show you the Camel 3X chart on this one. As you can see, never discounted at Amazon until just recently, and it went from the $250 RRP to $242. So it wasn't like it was a big discount, and it was very brief. As you can see, the green dotted lines in here showing periods when it was out of stock. So let's turn on the third-party sales, and boom, there you go. With the green lines out of stock, we can see this one bumped up, not a ton, but the fact that it's going above retail on Amazon, I grant you, prices are higher there, but it's going above retail before it retires, good sign. And then even recently, it's bumping up to almost $300. And oh, by the way, I didn't talk about this yet, but inside it is full of mechanisms. You can type with it, you can roll paper in there, you can slide the return, right? Yeah, that's the word. You can slide the return. Big winner to me. Great job, Lego. I have it in my latest power rankings video. It's going in the home run category, and I'm actually going to put it above the Dorado Fortress. Next roll of the dice is number 162. We're going to get a totally different story going this low on the table, and that's going to be the Hogwarts Room of Requirement. One mention, E-score of 1. I don't want to talk about Harry Potter sets anymore. I've said what I want to say about this theme in general these days. And remember, I'm not taking anything away from them on the primary market. My boys and I love building the Harry Potter sets. Odds are we'll get this one. Nice little build, something a little unique. But for investing, it's just not there. So it's going in the nope category. We're getting towards the end. Our 28th set is 143, probably another dud. It's going to take us to the Quidditch trunk, another Harry Potter set, darn it. One mention, E-score of 2 this time, but I'm still not changed my mind. This one's going low on the tier list also. I'm going to say 2 things about this one. It's $68 for 600 pieces. That's crazy. It looks like a $40 set. And then the similar set from last year was $65, and it's going for a sweet $42. Straight to the tier list, going at the bottom of the nope category. Final 2 sets for the 29th. We're going to a solid 100. I knew we'd already talked about that one in this video. So we're going to go to 99, the beach camper van. Creator 3-in-1 with 3 mentions, E-score of 1.7. I definitely don't think this is going to be one of the Creator 3-in-1s that does well. And the reason I think that is because I'm looking at a picture of it. It's just a nope. And lo and behold, we have a nope category. So I'm going to put it right in there. You know, I'll debate a little bit about exactly where I put it. I think below Sonic. And now the last set to look at in this video, number 70 77, and we got to go all the way up to 68. And it's another Harry Potter set. This time it is a Target exclusive. I'm going to say the whole name: Diagon Alley Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. 5 mentions, E-score of 1.6. Even though it's a Target exclusive, I still think that E-score is a little high. It actually looks like a fun little set, but I'm passing. Only a 3.7 on Brick set, less than 2,000 members on it. We're going in the nope category again, but I'll put it at the top just because it looks like something a little unique in the Harry Potter universe. All right, those are the 30 sets from this video, all tiered up. Take a close look, scrutinize the heck out of it, have a field day in the comments section, tell me where I'm all messed up, and we'll have fun chatting about it. Thanks as always for watching my videos. That's a wrap on this one, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else.